Welcome to Shalina's Hub. This is Shalina. I'd like to talk about tending to our garden, a spiritual journey. Like a gardener tenderly nurturing seeds to bloom, we are called upon to cultivate the verdant landscape of our inner spirit. This concept is not unique to our own culture or tradition. Rumi, the 13th century Persian poet, beautifully wrote, quote, "Let the beauty we love to be what we do. There are hundreds of ways to kneel and kiss the ground." Unquote. By tending to our own spiritual garden, we allow the beauty we love to become what we do. It's a perpetual act of kneeling, of expressing reverence and gratitude that allows the garden of our spirit to flourish. The garden is a beautiful metaphor for our spiritual journey. For each seed we plant is a thought, an intention, an aspiration. The soil in which these seeds are sown is our consciousness. It is fertile and rich with the potential for growth. Our actions then become the water and sunlight that nourish these seeds, encouraging them to sprout and blossom into the fullness of their expression. In this garden, we are both the gardener and the garden. We are the seer and the seen. We are the doer and the done. Our spiritual garden is a radiant display of our innermost selves, our hopes and our dreams and our fears and aspirations. As we tend to it with patience and with love and with care, we are, in essence, tending to ourselves. Henry David Thoreau once said, quote, "I have great faith in a seed. Convince me that you have a seed there, and I am prepared to expect wonders." Unquote. This is a faith we must carry as we tend to our spiritual gardens. For each seed of thought and each spark of intention carries within it the potential for extraordinary growth, transformation, and of beauty. Every garden experiences seasons of change. There are times of vibrant bloom and times of quiet dormancy. Similarly, our spiritual journey is not linear, but cyclical. So there's going to be periods of intense growth, but we can almost see the seeds of our intention breaking through the surfaces of our consciousness. But there are also times of stillness, when it may seem as though nothing is happening. Yet it is in these quiet times, beneath the surface, that our roots grow deeper and deeper and stronger. And as Khalil Gibran eloquently wrote, quote, "In the depth of winter, I finally learned that within me there lay an invisible summer." Unquote. So our spiritual gardens always hold the promise of an invincible summer, no matter the depth of winter we may find ourselves in, and no matter how harsh the winters may be. So remember, the pests and the weeds are also a part of every garden. They are the challenges, the doubts, the fears that try to choke up budding aspirations and inspirations. But like any skilled gardener, we learn to deal with them, not with violence, but with understanding and wisdom. We learn to see them as opportunities for growth, for they challenge us to dig deeper, to hold stronger, and to rise higher. The garden offers us lessons of humility, of hope, of resilience, and rebirth. It is a constant reminder that even in the tiniest seed, when tended with love and with care, can grow into a towering tree or a beautiful flower. Our spiritual journey, like gardening, requires patience. The seeds we sow today may not bear fruit tomorrow, but we tend to our garden anyway, and we tend to it with love, with faith, and with patience, knowing that each day of tending brings us one step closer to the bloom. As Henry David Thoreau wrote, quote, "Heaven is under our feet as well as over our heads," unquote. As we tend to our spiritual garden, we are not only striving to reach some distant heaven, we are also cultivating a slice of heaven right here, right under our feet, within ourselves. The spiritual journey is one of becoming. As, as we tend to our inner garden, we become more attuned to the rhythms of life, to the seasons of growth and of rest, of blooming, of wilting, of sowing, of reaping, all of that. We become more and more patient, more forgiving, more compassionate, not just towards ourselves, but towards others as well. And any given circumstances that's been put before us. See, the garden is a testament to the beauty of diversity, where every plant and every flower and every leaf is a unique expression of ourselves and contributes to the overall harmony of the garden. And as we embrace this diversity within ourselves, we are better and better able to appreciate and celebrate it in others. Rumi, the great Persian poet, beautifully reminds us, quote, he says, "Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all barriers within yourself that you have built against it," unquote. How true. So as we tend to our spiritual garden, we become aware of these barriers, the weeds of fear, doubt, self-judgment that hinder our growth. And with gentle care, we can uproot these barriers, making way for the seeds of love, of peace and joy to take root and flourish. So the garden of our spirit is a sacred space, if we can remember that and know it and believe it. It is a space where we encounter our truest selves, where we connect with the divine. This sacred space is not somewhere way out there, but right here within us. And as we tend to our spiritual garden, we are, in all essence, tending to our relationship with the divine. So in this process, we realize that our spiritual garden is not isolated from the world around us. It is a reflection of our relationship with the world. The love, the care, and respect we show towards our garden extend to the world around us. In tending to our spiritual garden, we're not just transforming ourselves, but we're also contributing to the transformation of the world. The act of tending to our spiritual garden is a profound act of self-love. It is an affirmation of our worthiness, a declaration of our divine nature. It is an invitation to the universe, a beckoning of grace and abundance into our lives. And as we nourish our spiritual garden, we're also nourished in return by the beauty we create, by the peace we cultivate, and by the love we nurture. So in the words of Khalil Gibran, quote, "You give but little when you give of your possessions. It is when you give of yourself that you truly give," unquote. So by tending to our spiritual garden, we are giving of ourselves, our time, our energies, our love, and in doing so, we truly give, not just to ourselves, but to the world. The spirit, the spiritual garden is an ongoing journey. It is an ever-evolving landscape that mirrors the ever-evolving nurture of our spirit. It is a journey of self-discovery, of growth, of transformation. And like any journey, it is filled with its shares of joys. It is filled with challenges as well, triumphs and setbacks. But through all of this, the garden endures, a testament to our resilience, our strength, and our capacity for love and for growth. In tending to this spiritual garden that we've created, we're embracing our role as co-creators with the divine. We are acknowledging the divine spark within us that allows us to create beauty, peace, and joy in our lives. We are affirming our divine nature, our inherent worthiness, our limitless potential. And as we tend to our spiritual garden, we're not just cultivating plants, but cultivating the qualities of love, of patience, of resilience, and hope within us. We're nurturing our relationships with ourselves and with others. We're creating a sanctuary of peace and beauty within us, a place of refuge, a solace, a place of love, a place of joy. So as Rumi so eloquently wrote, quote, "The garden of the world has no limits except in your mind," unquote. So let us tend to our spiritual gardens with love, with faith and courage, knowing that only the limits are those we place on ourselves. Let's nurture the seeds of our dreams and our aspirations, watering them with our actions, nourishing them with our love, and watching them as they blossom into the beautiful gardens of our spirit. So we ask, dear God, as gardeners of our souls, I humbly approach thy throne of grace. Grant me the patience to tend to the seeds of virtue within me, thus allowing them to break through the hardened soil of my past mistakes and my past misgivings. Let thy light shine upon my humble garden, encouraging growth, resilience, and hope. Endow me with the wisdom to acknowledge the seasons of my spirit, understanding that each holds a divine purpose in shaping me and helping me help others. Guide me in uprooting the weeds of fear and doubt, and to seek for my own growth, and lead me towards the path of love, towards the path of peace and understanding. Dear God, I completely surrender my spiritual garden unto Thee, trusting in Thy divine providence and care. Amen. If you've enjoyed this session, please share with your loved ones. Let's spread the love. And if you liked this session, please drop me a like and join me at chilliness hub.com. Thank you.